Good morning, students. Today our class is social science, but due to unavailability of social science book and workbook, we will study English. Unit number 3, Gopal and the Hilsa fish. This is a comic story that you have read many times from any magazine. After reading this picture story, I will explain it in a summary form that you can understand. Now, please open your textbook and read along with me. It was the season for hilsa fish. Fishermen could think of nothing but hilsa fish. Fishmongers sold nothing but hilsa fish. Come, buy, the price of hilsa is down today. Householders could talk of nothing but hilsa fish. How much did you pay for that hilsa? The young lady asked to an old man. You wouldn't believe it if I told you. In the courtyard, in the palace, too, the courtiers could discuss nothing but hilsa fish. Your Majesty, you should have seen the huge hilsa I caught. It was. Stop! Are you a courtier or a fisherman? The courtier fell silent and downcast eyes. The king felt guilty. I am sorry, I lost my temper. It is the season for hilsa fish, and no one, not even Gopal, can stop anyone from talking about hilsa fish. Not even for 5 minutes. Oh, I think I could, Your Majesty. Then let me see you buy a huge hilsa and bring it to the palace without anyone asking you a word about it. I accept the challenge, Your Majesty, Gopal replied. In a house, a few days later, why is your face half shaved? Gopal's wife asked to Gopal, I am dressing up to buy a fish. That's the matter with you. Why are you screaming yourself with ash? I told you I am dressing up to buy a hilsa fish. Leaving from home, his wife, listen to me, please. You can't possibly go out in those disgraceful rags. What are you up to? How many times must I tell you, woman, I am out to buy a huge hilsa fish? His wife thought, it's happened to him. He is gone mad. Gopal bought the hilsa fish and started walking towards the palace. Mother, look at the man. Isn't he a comical? All the uh, pedestrian, means those who are walking on the roadside, they saw the Gopal with a typical dress. He must be a madman. Shh! I think he is mystic. When Gopal reached the court, what do you want? The guards of the palace asked him. I want to see the king, Gopal replied. You can't see the king. Get away with you. Gopal began to dance and sing loudly just before the gate of the palace. Inside the palace, the man is crazy. Throw him out at once. I want to see the king. Let me in. The argument is going on just outside of the palace. The king said, bring that man to me at once. Yes, Your Majesty. Gopal was brought before the king. It's Gopal, all courtiers replied. That man has lost his mind. I think it's one of his crazy jokes. Some old courtiers discuss with someone. All right, Gopal, out with it. Why are you dressed up in the ridiculous fashion? Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. Forgotten something? King asked. Strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hilsa fish today. From the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about Hilsa fish. Only then did the king remember the challenge he had thrown to Gopal. Ha ha ha! Well, Gopal, congratulations! You have achieved the impossible once again. So the story is over. Now I am explaining it in summary form. It was a season of hilsa fish and the fishermen, fishmongers, and all the kingdom were talking about it far and wide. Fishmongers means fish sellers were selling the fish at lowest rates ever. Even the courtier could not help themselves talking about Hilsa even before the king. The king was angry first, but later he regretted for losing his temper. Then he put the challenge openly if anybody could avoid talking about Hilsa fish even for 5 minutes. Buying the hills, buying the fish from the market, one had to come all the way to the palace and see that nobody talked about the fish in his hand. Gopal took up the challenge. He half shaved his beard, put on tattered clothes, and set out to the market. He bought hilsa fish and started walking along the road to the palace. However, whoever saw him took him to be a crazy man and started talking about him instead of the hilsa fish in his hand. Finally, he reached the palace. At the gate, he was stopped by the gatekeepers. Gopal started dancing and singing loudly there. Finally, he was called inside by the king. The king had already forgotten about the challenge. Gopal reminded him of the challenge. The king remembered it and congratulated Gopal for winning the challenge or achieve the impossible. So you understand that. So next class we will study unit 3 poem part. Okay, that is the shade. See you in next class. Thank you. I hope you will read this story and send me whatever I say, whatever I will send in workbook. Okay, thank you very much.